This is a review of the Escort S55 radar laser detector. Inside the box, you'll find a quick reference guide, a very nice hard shell carrying case with a zipper, and also a card to allow you to sign up for Escort Live. Tells you how to get the app, and also gives you a discount on the program. This nice carrying case is ideal for travel. You can pack the radar detector, the windshield mounting bracket, and also the DC car adapter to power the unit inside of it. Makes it a nice way to store the unit. Toss it in a glove compartment if you like, or put it in a suitcase or briefcase to travel. Inside of the carrying case, you'll find the windshield adapter. You'll find the radar detector itself, which is rather small. And you'll see here the car power source. This comes with a cable that is roughly 30 inches long, but you can see part of the cable is coiled. It's kind of a combination cable, and if you stretch it out, it can reach up to 46 inches. Before I go into the controls and all, I want to say the features of this unit. It has a long-range K and KA radar band. It also detects the X band, and it also detects laser speed tracking techniques. So it provides multiple types of protection for your driving. The unit has a built-in TSR, or traffic sensor rejection setting, which means if there's anything around that's using a radar frequency like to control a traffic light, then this will see it and ignore that noise. That helps you to eliminate false trips. One of the features of the device is it has an instant on pop mode. Pop modes where the police officer calmly stands beside the street not using his radar, and when he sees somebody who he thinks is speeding, he'll press the trigger and take a quick reading. This helps defeat that technique and avoid you to have a ticket. It also has an auto sensitivity mode, a highway mode, or an auto no X mode, which allows you to turn off the X band, which isn't used in some areas. And the X band can help eliminate false alerts by turning it off. The unit is quite intelligent. It can actually track 4 different radar signals simultaneously. It also tracks the radar frequencies. The radar device itself is compatible with what's called Escort Live. This helps you learn the potential speed traps, but it does require an additional investment. This requires an optional smart cord and an app subscription fee. The app itself you can download to your iPhone, for example, and the fee is $4.99 per month or $49.99 per year. In addition, you have to buy a different smart cord, which allows you to get the data. The smart cord itself costs $94.27 at the present time. Going over the controls across the top here, you have an adjustable volume control, so you can adjust the volume of the alert. You have a power off-on switch. You have a mute button. You have a brightness setting, which allows you to adjust the brightness of the display from minimum to medium to max and dark. In addition, you have the sensitivity button, which allows you, like I mentioned, to select auto sensitivity, highway mode, or auto no X mode. When you mount this to your windshield, you want to mount the cups to the windshield, and you want to insert this slide into the top here. Press this button, and it locks in place, and you can release it by pressing this button and pulling this bracket out. It's important that you have these suction cups firmly attached to your windshield. It's recommended that you have them mounted in the center of the windshield, away from the wipers, away from any mirrors, and also away from any UV sunscreen shields on the windshield. They can interfere with the laser reception, and they can also interfere sometimes even with the radar. If you can't get the right angle, it tends to sag or whatever, you can also take this little bracket if you have a windshield that's very steep, and you can slightly bend this bracket to suit your needs. You can also do custom programming on the unit and get inside of it to adjust all the different bands, turn them off and on. You accomplish that by pressing the volume and bright button simultaneously for 2 seconds. And by doing so, you go into the custom program mode. I didn't do that. One of the things I like about this is that you can take this and take it out of the box, take it to your car, plug it in, and it works. So if you want to do custom programming, turn off bands or whatever, that is possible, and it's built into the device itself. Inside the quick reference guide, you can see some of the program steps that you can go through. You could even change the language to Spanish or English, for example. You can have it default to auto mute. You can set the bands that you're looking for, how you like it to have it power on. All this is programmable. Here you can see the display. I'll show that in the car in a second. You can display the reception in multiple ways, and I'll show that. Here you have the input. This is where the power cord comes in. It's sort of a phone connector that plugs in the side here. It's nice and small. I'm always a bit worried when I see these types of clips that I'm going to have it laying on the floor of the car and someone's going to step on it and break that little clip off. So I'd be very careful with that. But you can see where it plugs in. Here's the front end mode where you can see the radar input and laser input. And like I said, you want to have that mounted so it's clearly visible about the center of the car. This is the power cord. It's really called a smart cord. It's not the same one you use when you want to use Escort Live. But what it does, if you plug it in and have it plugged into the radar and the radar's on, this LED here will turn green. If you're receiving an alert, this little LED here, which is red, will flash. And if you want, you can reach down and press this and mute the noise coming out of the radar detector, as opposed to reaching up and trying to find the switch for the mute. I'm going to turn the unit on. You can see it goes into a startup mode, gives you its model number, and that quickly it's ready to go, and it's in the auto mode. If I come over here and press sensitivity, I'm telling it now to go in the auto mode with no X-band. It goes into the highway mode for long range, sensing of radar signals, and then it goes back to auto. Now I can touch the brightness button. There's brighter. There's very bright, as you can see it. And then here is after dark. So you got different settings you can go through to adjust the brightness of the display. Here you can see the radar detector mounted on the windshield. It's mounted in the center of the car. The windshield wipers are out of the way, and there's no sunscreen or any type of ornament on the glass that's going to block its view. That's perfect for receiving radar and laser signals. You also want to make sure that it's pretty much horizontal as it is there. It's mounted pretty well, and that's the way you should have it. A couple things to point out. Number one, radar detectors are pretty much legal for private vehicles in most states. The only exception is the state of Virginia and the District of Columbia, where they are illegal. Most states allow you to have radar detectors, but they also say in many states that you can't have anything on the windshield that might block the vision of something in the road that could cause you to have an accident. So you need to look up the laws for your states regarding mounting things to your windshield. I've used this radar detector for several days. We've driven around. I had a few minor false alerts from being too close to stores that had door openers, but for the most part, I didn't have any false signals. And it did detect at great distances the possibility of a radar gun caused by a sheriff or a police officer. This is a nice product. It works very well. It's from a highly rated manufacturer. I'm going to rate it at 5 stars. Probably my favorite feature was I plugged it in, it went into the auto mode, I went for a drive, and it worked. That's a nice feature. Probably the only thing I would do is if I traveled and was on a long trip on the interstate, I'd switch it to highway mode to possibly extend the range. This review is done by JJ I'd like to tell you that I received a sample for test and evaluation, and I didn't promise a review, but I promised if I gave one, it would be fair and honest.